Learn something new every day. Every day.
Expand your mind.
And your
Expand
horizons.
your brain. That's right.
2024.
Here we are.
Excuse me, do I know you? No, but that's where you are. You're there.
Oh, I don't know why that never gets old.
I know. It never does, right? How dare you break wind before me? I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
So horrible. Ugh. I got a bunch of tags from you for the promo stuff. Doesn't matter. Here we are. It's Monday night.
Yeah.
Snakes and Stogies, episode 190.
Crazy.
We are like legit closing in on THP.
Nice.
We're coming in hot. This episode is brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check it out. Facebook, Instagram. If you're just shopping around, check it out. If you end up buying something, if you're at checkout, use the code THN, save yourself 10% off your order. You won't be disappointed. Everyone here loves BlackBox and all their offerings.
Dude, I can't they're our sponsor, but when you get it in hand, you love it regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just tip top shit. Sorry, continue.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, best lead time around, man. Really can't beat it. You order a cage, you get it. It's a pretty wild concept. Jake and I have to start plotting our annual pilgrimage up there, getting that ironed out. It should be good. I think this year I'm shooting for more adult caging, like some more V70s is kind of on the docket.
Nice.
We'll see.
Excellent.
And then fullvisaapparel.com. Check that out. I got a new ChondroCast shirt on, but I got cold, so I put on my hoodie. Otherwise, I'd show it to you.
Come on, give us a little truffle shuffle.
No,
come on, give us a little truffle shuffle. You don't have to jiggle. Just
y'all couldn't handle my mid drip. Look at it.
You said your mid drip. Oh, that is a good shirt. I like that. It's a good color, man.
It's a new logo.
Oh, is it? Oh, the font and with the condor and everything?
Yes. So I was getting the graphics and stuff ready for the show we had last night with Daniel Boswell. And I was like, you know what? Let's just overhaul everything. Like, I now can do this stuff. Previously with that original ChondroCast logo, like, that was stuff that I couldn't do. So I was like, I can do it now. So I took the original art, which is based off one of the animals that I had, and decided to revamp it a little bit. And I'm going to be putting the shirts up on the Fulvius site soon, hopefully this week.
Sweet.
We have some pretty gnarly weather coming, apparently, and I know we're supposed to be going to work tomorrow, but at the same time, don't know if that's going to happen or not. So,
like, snowstorm gnarly?
No, like crazy high winds and.
Oh, dude, the winds here are crazy. So I can only imagine.
Like, they've canceled school. Like, they're doing virtual school because of how rough it's supposed to get. So
virtual school, they have it so easy. These kids. Back in my day.
No, it's like. Honestly, I wish they'd have to make up the days at the end of the year, because the virtual school thing, it doesn't work.
Oh, that's right, because parents have to take off, I'm assuming.
Well, Katie works from home. She started a new job, so
nice.
It's fully remote, but she's doing training stuff for that right now. So, like, she can't stop whatever she's doing every time Ellie's, like, not paying attention to what she's supposed to be doing or whatever. And yeah, it's the virtual school thing. It's as a parent, it really doesn't work.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. That whole thing during COVID where they weren't in school for a year, she might as well have just not even gone. Like, not even
really.
Like, they shouldn't have even bothered, because it was just chaos, man. Like, the kids, if they're at home and they're comfortable and it's like a familiar space, they act like fools. They act up. They can't pay attention. But none of this matters because it's not. I don't know how you use your Jedi mind tricks on me.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, fullviesapparel.com. Get yourself a shirt. Get yourself a hoodie. Use the code THN at checkout as well. There, get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive discount code for THN listeners and viewers like you.
Might I intervene and say the new Abronia Mexicano, exquisite.
Oh,
Absolutely.
That Devo Abronia shirt?
Loved it. Loved it. And dude, you put the coasters in the background. Love the coasters. Good tunes, man. Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So when am I getting a Texas one with Subak?
Ooh, I haven't thought about that.
I was actually thinking you could do, I mean, it'd be kind of niche, but you could do the state of Texas silhouette, right? Classic. Or you could do like a couple counties for each species and do like one for Barred Eye, do one for Trans-Pecos Copperhead, do one for the Trans-Pecos Rat Snake, do like the Texas set. Do an East Coast one with, what's it called?
There was one point where I thought about doing one, like how I did that Abronia shirt with the Abronia in the shape of Mexico, like that kind of thing, like the overlay type deal.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that for like every state with a different species.
That'd be wild, man.
I thought that'd be pretty cool. Like
that'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be a fun challenge, but
it would be very, yeah.
It'd be really tough with some of those northern states. I mean, like, does
Scalopris,
Maine or like Vermont, do they even have?
They got turtles, I'm sure.
That's true.
Turtles and salamanders, man.
Surely,
Toads.
yeah, surely there's something there.
Yeah, there's something.
Related, so
yeah.
But that'd be fun. It'd be a good challenge, to get to make it happen.
Hell yeah.
But I have that Coleonic shirt. That's the only Texas specific shirt on there at the moment, but I have my notepad here, so I'll write that down too.
Yeah, get up in it. I like the states idea. I like that a lot. So
let's see.
Jason Keller says the old school way of school doesn't work either. Look how he turned out. We love you, Keller.
I thought about, I have an idea for a shirt that I've been thinking about doing, and it just says natural history doesn't care about your feelings.
Nice.
You know how there's always like that whole, like, what's the, Ben Shapiro always says, facts don't care about your feelings. Is that what it's?
There's something along those lines. Yeah.
Natural history doesn't care about your feelings. I thought
that's good. I
thought that'd be pretty good,
Yeah, for sure.
And I keep getting requests from Dustin Black for that hoser shirt, the Canadian hoser.
Yeah, the Wisconsin hoser.
That's right. But I don't know that one will ever be.
Yeah. Well,
that might be a back burner.
Man, shifting gears. If you're ever in the Pacific Northwest and you find yourself jonesing for some reptile and amphibian action
on a nice, cool January evening like tonight.
Yes, the crisp breeze of the sound. Check out a Puget Sound pythons.
Off in the distance, a pod of orcas is slowly murdering a group of seals on a
group of tourists.
Slab of ice.
A group of tourists
I don't know
waiting
what
for their cruise ship.
Those videos are the most depressing. Like the ones where the seal's just on the ice, like just trying to stay on, and these pods are just like.
The worst is when the seal gets on the fishing boat and the fishermen are like, "Dude, you can't stay. You gotta go, bro." And like, that's
I know that's like
not
nature, but I'd be like, buddy, you hang out here as long as you want, as long as you're cool. If you the moment you try to bite me or some shit, you're going, like, you're out of here. But dude, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like I saw a video. There was like 4 seals on a piece of ice or something, and there was 4 or 5 orcas doing their thing of like, let's break up the ice and make them fall off. And I was like,
Seawolf.
That just sucks.
Yeah.
Just because it ain't gonna, like, you're done. You might as well be on the moon,
Yeah.
Well,
you know who doesn't murder baby seals? Jeff and Kendra from Puget Sound pythons.
Right. They don't.
I know.
Show, but
2024, baby. Bam. Yeah, check them out. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Morph Market. They got lots of cool critters. They got a lot of cool stuff in the woodworks. Eggs be a hatching. Well, maybe not right now, but you know what I mean. And last but not least, if you're in the mood to enjoy a fine cup, a warm beverage, if you will, stop by the fine folks at Cold-Blooded Caffeine.
.com.
.com, and make sure that you click the link in our bio to bring you to the one and only Snakes and Stogies Mexicano Rwandan blend. Cha-cha-cha. Whole bean and ground. Enjoy.
Made with real coffee.
So you know it's good.
I actually have. I printed a shirt with this on it the other day.
Oh yeah. You're gonna do the outline of Rwanda?
I think I'm gonna make a Chlorakis shirt.
Hell yeah.
That's
Rock
what that
and roll.
is. It's Chlorakis.
Yes. Yes.
Another. So aside from all 50 states, I'm gonna do like every species of Atheris is getting something.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's
I love
just
it.
fun. I like putting that stuff together, man. Like that's
Yeah.
like, it's a blast.
It is. It's
Challenge
good.
of it to make it work. You know.
I dig it. I dig it. So now that we're through the sponsors, what are you smoking tonight?
We're never through.
Oh no, we're never through.
BlackBox. Just a lot 23 Perdomo.
Nice.
Something crazy. The Maduro.
I was given by our co-host of sorts, Mr. Chris Painshop, his last baby intemperance. Okay. And this is a little baby stick, little baby cigar. But this cigar, he says he thinks it's about 2 years old. I don't. I think it's way older. And it feels
Probably.
great and it smells great. But look at the color. So it's just a brown cigar, right? Let me show you this. Hold on. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but with this yellow background. But if I take this sucker out, by the way, open foot, which I love. Forgot all about that. Look at this cellophane. I don't know if the white balance is going to work.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Hold on. Let me try and.
Everything's so flesh toned.
I know. Right here, we'll put it against. Dude, I got nothing to compare and contrast. Crap. My hat, maybe no. It's not going to work. There we go. There we go.
I mean that works.
Look how brown that sucker is.
Ambered up. I like it.
Awesome. So, how was your little break, if you will? Sabbatical, yes.
It was extremely uneventful.
It's kind of good.
Which I'm not complaining about. Like my birthday, Frank, like full disclosure, my birthday last year, yes, my birthday was Christmas Eve, or is Christmas Eve.
It was Christmas Eve.
It was Christmas Eve.
We've since evolved. Yes.
Probably the most boring birthday I've ever had.
Is that bad though?
Not necessarily. We didn't do anything. Like we were in Tennessee. We went and stayed out at my aunt and uncle's place. My parents went and some other family. And it was cool. Did a lot of shooting and stuff. But it was like didn't go nowhere. Didn't do anything.
It's good, man.
It was
a little R&R
again, and then Christmas was pretty much the same way. So we were up there for like 4 days, and I was ready to be home by the time. Like I'm weird about like time off and stuff, man. Like after 2 or 3 days max, I'm like over it. I'm ready to be back to work. Like I don't know. I somehow run out of things to do or like things that I'm like motivated to do. And then I'm just like, I just want to go back to work. Like can only hang out at the cigar shop so much, and maybe I just need a life. But
I get it, man. I get it.
I don't know. I like my job. I like working. I like being at work. I feel productive, and we get like the 23rd through the 1st off. We come back on the 2nd. So for like that whole span of time, it feels like we've been gone a month, and I'm just like, the first couple days it's great, and then after that I'm like twiddling my thumbs. I'm just like, okay, go back. Like, what are we doing? So
Yeah, you and I are very different. Very, very different. I need to be away from work long enough to miss it. And don't get me wrong, I love my job. I've been in my job 15 years. I love my job, but I need to be away from it long enough to remember how much I love it.
I know, like, there's always stuff to do. There's always things going on. It's just keeps my brain preoccupied. So get a boat.
Yeah, Billy
Damn
Jenkins
it,
got a
Billy
boat.
Jenkins. Shut up. Other than that, yeah, nothing too crazy. We got avos at the shop now, which I'm pretty excited about because I've never had an avo I didn't like. So
Nice.
I know how to fish chickens. I just don't fish. Then you'll hate work. I don't think that'll make me hate work. But what about yours? What'd y'all do? Did you get that pony you were one?
No pony. But it was good, man. It was good. I got a lot of cool stuff from friends and family and loved ones. I got a Nintendo Switch. Awesome possum. So I'm enjoying my nostalgia. Downloading games I haven't played since I was like 14. So this is good. Metal Gear Solid. And yeah, man, just been animals are chilling. So it's been not cold, it's been brisk. And I have let that room get brisk. The max it's been for the past like 2 weeks has been like 73 with a low of like 58,
Wow.
59. Yeah. So only in a couple nights, but enough to
Still, for South Florida,
yeah,
that's impressive.
exactly. And I'm trying to manage so the way that my house is, the snakes are in the second story, and there's a thermostat upstairs that runs the bedrooms upstairs and one room downstairs.
Yeah.
But the house has such high ceilings that that heat rises, so it doesn't trip it right. So I actually turned that AC off for the past like 10 days. And I just keep like the bedroom doors shut so it doesn't get too hot.
Right.
But the snake room is holding cool. Right now, I just checked it. It is 74 degrees on the one side and 74 on the other side. So that's perfect. But with all this cool temperature, humidity rises. So I'm at 66% humidity in the desert room, which I'm pretty okay with, man.
Yeah.
Because if it's only for 3 weeks out of the year, I mean, all I got to do is literally flip a light switch and all that humidity will dry out. It'll suck it out and heat the room back up, and I can get everybody back to speed. So I'm really happy with the temps this year and how I did it, so to speak. I put one-way mirror tint on the windows to keep the heat out and to keep the cool in, and vice versa. And then I got some sheer drapery that's like it's not see-through at all. It's definitely masking. It's like how do I phrase this? It looks like burlap, but very, very thin. It's obviously synthetic. It's fake. And I'm really happy with the way the room is regulating temperature-wise, especially this past like 3-4 weeks. So that's the extent of my life right now.
I have been having my ass kicked by this little space heater.
Oh, it's still giving you trouble, huh?
It's not really giving me trouble, but like, it was cold today. It's been cold here a lot. And so this morning I was like, all right, let me kick it up a little bit because it's going to be cold pretty much all day. We don't really run the heat super hot. I mean, I think we keep the house around 70. So I was like, okay, with the heater on and that, I'll figure it out. And so I went in there this morning before I went to work, and it was still a little cooler in the room than I was wanting it to be, and so I turned the heat up. And then I came home today from work, and it was like pretty damn hot in there, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I can't freaking. I'm not even moving the dial that much on this thing, but I'm realizing now that it really doesn't take a whole lot to get that thing rolling.
I know it would be probably uncomfortable for you and critters, but have you tried starting in the lowest setting and then like waiting a few hours and turning it up a little bit, and then waiting for the next day and then turning it up a little bit, and just kind of like going backwards?
Not that meticulously, but
Yeah.
definitely starting at like, so if I put it at 12 o'clock, that's halfway,
Okay.
So I start it low, like low, and then I've been kind of like adjusting, but it's like I go too high, and so I'm like, okay, I got to split the difference there, and then I don't know. It's been the female persimmon. Like I was in the room cleaning some chondro cages, and the female persimmon, I think she was getting too hot because she got the freaking zoomies and just started spazzing out, like freaking out.
No, like actually too hot or just too warm for what it should have been? Like 30 degrees too warm or like 10 degrees too warm?
Not like 30, not like anything outlandish.
Okay.
I didn't walk in and it wasn't like 90 plus in there or
Okay,
anything
okay.
like that. But I think that coupled with the UV light and the, the heat from that, I think in the cage, it was just too warm.
Sure. And there's a UV light below her, right?
No.
Okay. Okay. Say sometimes that ambient will be just enough to raise the floor,
No. So I've got the Jansen eye on the floor.
Okay.
I've got 2 BioGs, one with a rhino, one with a male persimmon. Female persimmon is in that XA3 on top of that, which is the size of 2 BioGs together.
Right.
And then I have 200 quart chondro, like female chondro with the male top. And so I was cleaning them because she shed last night and, of course, emptied her bowels.
I thought you were going to say sperm plugs.
No. So I pull them out because the male's enough of a handful to where it's like, I'm not going to try and fight you while I'm trying to pull.
Right.
Like, this thing's taller than me. I mean, I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
This thing's way up there. So I'm like, I pull it down, do what I got to do. And he's just, he's a handful. She came out and I actually handled her for a little bit. She was super mellow. She's a freaking beast, man. She's a big chondro.
Nice. So. Good stuff. And our boy Dustin Gron is in the group chat. I saw you got here early, my friend. Good stuff. And he says that the humidity is going to be the high humidity with a cold temp is perfect for my desert room. He says humidity is probably good for the desert stuff too. Come camp out here and you'll wake up covered in dew. I've actually done that and it's disgustingly awesome.
Disgusting. Not like that time we shared a tent.
No, that was just it had nothing to do with you sharing the tent with you. It was just peculiar because it was cold and then it was hot and it was cold again. And I will say this though, I've only camped out in the actual Sonoran once for like 4 days straight, and we went up driving an hour back to town to get bedrolls and comforters because I didn't realize that when you actually camp in the desert, there's no soft soil. It's just rocks. So I'll never do that one ever again.
Lesson learned.
Stupid East Coast guy.
Yeah, and Callaway is saying he has a space heater or space heaters on the thermostat in his building, and it's like my room. He's seen my room. He's been here because he lives near me. My room's not big, and I think to put it on a thermostat, it would just have that thing flipping on and off like all day long, constantly. So I'm just gonna keep it low, and because the point of that is to just. My main concern currently with that heater and that the room temperatures and the cold we've been experiencing is like I'm feeding babies and stuff, and I'm worried that they'll get too cold and I'll start having regurg issues. So basically, I want that heater in there just to keep things closer to 80, upper 70s, whatever, like mid 70s and up. I'm good.
Yeah, like 75, 78.
Yep, anywhere between 75 and 80, I'm good. So. That's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish, but it's like getting that thing to where it needs to, like it works great. So it does the job. It's just a matter of finding the spot on that dial where it's like perfect. And then as soon as I figure that out, I'm going to like take a metallic Sharpie or something because it's black. So I'm going to take a Sharpie or something to mark that spot so that I know if it ever gets moved or something, that's the sweet spot. So.
Yeah, it's smart, man. Very smart. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I was actually thinking before we did the show, because I knew we were going to talk about temps because of the crazy weather we're going to be having. And because as herpers, we are temperature nerds, temperature, humidity, barometric pressure, dew point nerds. When I was a kid, you knew that the person was old because they watched the Weather Channel. Are we old now? Are we old?
Honestly, I don't pay attention to the weather.
No, but just because of the animals.
Unless I'm shipping something, I pay attention. But like for the most part, if it's gonna rain, I don't like. I'm not looking at the forecasts. It's like if it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, whether I know it's gonna rain or not. You know?
Yeah.
Even hurricanes now at this point, it's like, oh, there's a hurricane coming in like 2 days, and I'm like, really? And then I like pull up NOAA, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. And it's like, okay,
Yeah, and then I throw things together. Yeah.
yeah. So, it has, weather's just been a little squirrely because, I mean, 2 days ago on Sunday, it was like 70 degrees and I was flipping some tin and stuff. And then today it's been like 50s and now it's dropping even more. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but playing the game, I'm usually not worried about temperatures in that room in general. Like I'm okay with everyone being on the cooler side. But it's when like I start getting stuff fed and whatnot, and I'm doing like slightly larger meals that I get a little more nervous about those cooler temperatures because I just don't want to smell the smell that we all have come to know and love at some point.
Oh yeah, the sweet, sweet smell.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna pull stuff out of cooling this weekend.
Oh really? I remember listening. I don't know if it was it with you, me? Was it our holiday show or end of the year show, or was it you and Jake? I think it was you and Jake.
Me and Jake.
Yeah, talking about not doing Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I just I need to look at a calendar and sort of do the math and see how many days we've been at. And I may, just go ahead and pull them just because I feel
Why
like
not?
it's been long enough, whatever. I'm not even really planning on pairing much this year as far as like I'm not planning on pairing Bairds. And then there's like 2 corn pairings for sure. Maybe a third, but I don't know. I'm really gun shy about pairing corns this year because I still have so many babies from that double clutch.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating because they're really nice corns. Like, but when I try to take a picture of them, the nice deep reds they have, brown. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I cannot get my phone.
Is it
and
the white balance?
I don't think it is, but I also don't want to tweak the settings too much because I don't want it to be over edited. Like, I don't want it to tweak the color in a way that's going to be disingenuous to how they actually look,
Yeah,
I need to get outdoor pictures of them is the problem.
You can also take video and see if the video is the correct lighting and then take a screenshot from video. I mean, it's harder because it's not always going to be in good focus, but do the video now, do 4K 60 and just take screenshots from the video,
Yeah, maybe.
So
we'll see. I mean, they're
it's
all
more market. It's not, National Geographic.
Oh, speaking of.
Yes.
Go ahead and get into that. So I stumbled across another marketplace. I know there's been a handful that have popped up since Morph Market's, changing of the guard and stuff. But I found this one, checked it out. It's still in its infancy, so it still needs a good bit of tweaking and stuff. But I like it, and I started an account. Pricing is good, and it's reptiversemarket.com.
Yeah, I saw them handing out lanyards at Daytona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had it's like a purple logo, right?
No, that's I think that's Repticart. I think is
Repticart. That's right.
Yeah,
oh, jeez.
Reptiverse. It's getting tough.
Yeah,
sure
it is.
A name thing for something like that doesn't have market or something in it is really difficult because it's like how else are you supposed to tell people what it is?
True.
So I don't know. I'm giving it a shot. I don't really. I've heard so many mixed things about Morph Market. I've had people tell me it's been great. They've been selling stuff no problem. I've had people send me screenshots of the messages they deal with on a regular basis, like daily, and it's just I just want to find something else that does something similar and isn't so crowded. Like I understand that's where a lot of the attention was or is currently, and I think if we get enough people sort of switching over to Reptiverse or even doing both, I'm sure if you wanted to,
sure,
it's it's not that expensive. maybe things will sort of even out a little bit. But yeah, like Adam said, they do have a venomous listings. They have that's
Oh,
what
really?
separates them from Morph Market.
Very nice.
Is he has a system for venomous where you have to be like verified. You have to send, identification and things like that.
Nice.
And so far, I know Fascination's on there, which is pretty cool because they've got awesome stuff. And then Aaron Gerson, who we had on recently from the Forked Tongue, is on there. So figured I'd give him a shout out. We're seeing how it goes. I'm not expecting a ton of traffic, but I think having at least something available, some availability somewhere I can start pushing out more will be helpful. So
nice. What was it called again?
Reptiversemarket.com.
Okay. Hold on a second. Reptiverse Marketplace.
Happy Dragons, yeah, Happy Dragons is a thing. They're one of the they're
Wow, this website is very reminiscent of Underground's website. I wonder if it's the same provider.
I don't know what he's using for it. I've talked to him. The guy that runs it, his name's Cody Miller. I've been talking to him. I told him that as I'm sort of navigating the website and messing around and adding ads and stuff, that I jot down notes of things that I notice, need tweaking or adjustment. And then a lot of them I'm sure he's aware of, because again, I think what you have currently is kind of just the baseline of the website. Like it's got a lot of polishing and fleshing out to do still, but for what it is, it's working. It's pretty straightforward, and the pricing is good. Like I said, I think the mid tier, which is what I went for, is like $15 a month. You get like 100 listings.
Oh wow!
And then I think the highest tier is like $40 a month, and then he has cheaper rates if you do annual. But we're gonna give it a shot.
All right, I'm actually looking at the venomous listings right now. Looks like there's only 2 people posting stuff, but there's a ton of crap, man.
Dude, look at the stuff Fascination has. He's got. I mean, he's always got awesome stuff.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Oh my God, some of it's insane.
Yeah, man.
But I'm the first person to have corn snakes on there, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice, congratulations.
So, check it out. I'm trying to help him out, get it out there. Long term, who knows where it'll go or how it'll be, or kind of the issue. So the Morph Market thing is kind of, it's in a similar boat as like Facebook, to where that's where everything's happening, and so to try and get something happening somewhere else is really tough, because it's a 90-degree uphill battle. It's like, why have people leave the thing that's working and proven to go to something else where no one is, but at the same time, if you think about it, Facebook came in at a time when MySpace was king.
Yeah.
And completely flipped the script. So, what was it Brendan said about competition and having other options only helps everybody?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, some a famous proverb of sorts. Competition's good. Competitors are good for business, for everyone's business.
Well, I mean, you can't, if we're complaining about not having any other options aside from King Snake and Fauna and Morph Market, which I feel like Fauna at this point is kind of just hanging on by a thread, and at any point I feel like you could go there and it'll say the domain is for free, or domain is for sale.
And I don't think that'll ever happen. I feel like the only people that are going to use it are people that are just getting into it and don't know any better, or old timers who that's all they know how to do because they've been doing it for 20 years.
No, man. I think Zukowski will pull the plug on it in a heartbeat as soon as I feel like he's been threatening it for a long time, but he's never actually done it. But I feel like it's going to get to the point where he's like, really doing it this time. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, it could be revamped and be fantastic. I don't know.
It is funny how that format of it being a forum has survived like as long as it has. When you look at all the other forums in the traditional sense that have come and gone,
Yeah.
where forums were the thing, and now like they're ghost towns.
But at least like in my line of work, I find a lot of good information on forums that are old, and I'm like, I want to learn about X, Y, and Z. And I just Google search it, and some of the old forums will pop up, and I'll be like, oh, this is from 2008. Guess what? Still relative. Can't ask anyone questions about it because half the people are dead, but you know.
Lisa asked, isn't Morph Market free? So they do have a free option, but you get like 3 ad listings and you get like 1 picture per ad, which
it's not worth it.
With the $15 account, you can add up to 5 pictures per ad, which is nice. And they actually have, I think you get 10 free listings on the free version for Reptiverse, like 10 free ads. I'm struggling. I don't know. Check it out. It's just, it's an option. And again, like if we want to see change and we want to see other options available, like you got to get in on the ground floor with some of these other platforms and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're not going to see much for a long time probably, but
yeah,
you just got to stick with it and eventually get, keep getting the word out about it, helping people know that it exists and that it's an option. And then eventually it does grow. Cause I remember Morph Market early on seeing that and thinking like, this isn't, my first instinct initially was like, hey, this is never going to be better than King Snake or Fauna. Like very vividly, I remember having that conversation with myself. Or like, why would anybody use this? Like, King Snake's never going to go away. Fauna's never going to go away.
True.
And then over time, John just kept whittling away at it and made it what it was. And
yeah,
here we are. Yeah, there's a couple Jansen on there right now from Fascination that are just painfully nice. Really wish I had more space for more adults.
Don't we all?
Anything new on the animal front down yonder?
Not really, man. I got the Cape Puffs paired up and chilling the Wrinkles, the 2 big adults. So I imagine when we get like probably 2 or 3 80+ days in a row, which I'm imagining is probably going to be in the next week or so, I'm going to slowly turn on all the timers and get the room starting to warm up. And then what else? And then I'm going to try and pair the water pythons. I want to get a meal in them. I haven't fed them at all this month because it was cold and I was afraid they would regurge. They're on the coldest side of the room, and they don't have heat at all ever. They're just ambient, whatever the room is, that's what they're at. And I've never had a problem with them in terms of eating and stuff, but I didn't want to put them together and them be hungry and God forbid something happens. So, which is contrary to what other people have told me to do. Other people have told me that they should already be paired. But I didn't feel right about it. So I'm going to pair them up, and then I'm going to pair some Underwoodosaurus and see what happens. And I'm going to hold off on knobtails this year just because I don't have the time to be as attentive as I'd like to be, or I need to be, with checking eggs, twice a day.
Have you produced Underwoodosaurus before?
I've never. This is going to be my first. I've been raising babies. So I got I didn't get a pair. I got 2 unsexed babies from Leland Ward many moons ago, probably 4 years now. And he thought they were going to be a pair, and it wound up being 2 girls. And then I bought another male from him a year after that. So this year the girls will be 4 and the boy will be 3. So we're rocking and rolling. So
are those easier to produce than Neffs?
From what I'm told, yeah, because most people just keep them together like all year round.
Yeah.
Which you can't do with Neffs, because knobtails, the boys will just get in a breeding frenzy and they'll just want to keep breeding, and they won't eat and they won't drink. Yeah, and they'll stress her out, and then they'll die of dehydration and starvation. Just breed it. But from what I gather, people just communally house the Underwoodosaurus, 1 male, 2 or 3 females, and life is good. So I've only got the 3 geckos, so I'll just put them all together and see what happens. Yeah, I'll probably do boy girl for like a week and then give him like a week off and then give another girl another week, you know, kind of do that. That's what I do with the knobtails. So
Yeah. Oh, I over the weekend got my pair of Spring Island corns.
excellent.
Those things are nice.
Where'd you
They're
get them
babies.
from?
They're babies, so they're not adults. They're
Okay.
But dude, the freaking colors coming into these things already is just
Nice.
unreal. They came from a local guy that I used to work for. He's I don't know if he still is the naturalist out there on Spring Island. So he breeds a lot of native species.
Cool.
And he releases like he breeds Eastern Kings and stuff. And so he
Nice.
takes pictures of the head stamps of the baby Easterns, then he releases them out on Spring Island, which it's a community, but at the same time, like most of it is preserved land, like that's completely untouched and like meant to be for like nature and naturalism.
That's awesome.
Like that is gorgeous out there. A lot of fox squirrels too, which is really cool.
That's cool. Love fox squirrels.
But he takes pictures of the head stamps of these Eastern Kings and then he releases them, and he's been finding these animals again in the same general area that he's putting them.
That's great, man. That's so cool.
And then he's doing the same thing with these corn snakes. Like he got adults from the island, bred them, and then released them. And he, held back some of the babies and grew those up and released, their offspring. And he just, he jokes and said he's probably feeding the Easterns by releasing the corns. But,
probably.
He was the one that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, how he had in 1 year, he had one of those baby Easterns go from like 11 grams to 300.
Oh, wow.
In a year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
He found the same animal.
Like, oh, that's right. I remember you talking about that. I remember that. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, we gotta get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, most definitely. You got pictures of the babies?
I do.
Fire them up, boy.
I pulled them up.
Good. Yeah, and I have been, while you do that, so I know I've said it before, but basically when you walk into my room, the left side is harmless and the right side is venomous. But I have 3 old racks that have 2 juvenile carpets, all the knobtails and the barking geckos, and then just a smattering of colubrids. And then I have venomous on top of them. And I really wanted to get those out so that there is a clear-cut definition between harmless and venomous, right?
Yeah.
And so I did that last week or maybe the week before I started to do it. I still have to move the carpets because I haven't got bigger tubs for them. But it's nice to move stuff up to a bigger enclosure and then have that crisp, clean, new thing. You know what I mean? Like it's a good feeling. And then I started thinking about BlackBox and rearranging, and I still have 3 cubes that I need to do up. And I was basically biding my time to design them appropriately because the snakes that I wanted to put in them were just too small. They would escape. I just know they would. And now stuff is finally getting to the point where it's big enough. So, but the problem is right now I have them on the harmless side and 2 of them are venomous, or 2 of the snakes that I want to put in there are venomous. So it's like, do I just put those 2 rattlesnakes over there and just have those be the only 2 on that side and say, whatever? Or do I be OCD, or as Nipper would say, CDO, and put them on the venomous side? But that would involve me rearranging everything, and I hate playing Tetris.
Yeah.
So
dude, it sucks.
But that's where I'm at right now. Dude, I got some crazy stiletto observations, man, with the weather change.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I didn't feed them for probably 4 weeks, like the 4 weeks before New Year's. So now it's been another week after New Year's. So what's today? Today is Monday. So this past Wednesday, I dropped in 2 live pinkies, and dude, I watched the one which is the smallest one I've got left, it came out of the soil, sought out the pinky, did what I can only describe as a rapid fire strike. And by strike, I don't mean like a snake strike,
like a prison shanking,
like a legit prison shanking, but it did it against the wall of the tub. So it was like, crazy. And that, like, I didn't even know it. And I snapped my head around real quick. I was like, what the hell was that? And I look in the tub, and here it is, stabbing the pinky with one side and then stabbing the pinky with the other side. And then it hooked the pinky with the right fang and bowed its body around it to corral the pinky in a coil.
Jesus.
And at that point, the pinky was done. At that point, the pinky had already expired. And it's just sitting there with one fang in the prey item, like a harpoon, using a coil of its body to corral the prey item. And then it started to consume it, and it ate it in front of me. But I'd never seen, wow, look at the colors on that corn snake. Shifting gears. That is incredible, man.
Both of them are in there. The other one's head is buried in there somewhere, but
man, look at that. All that orange and fire blushing in between. Oh, incredible.
Yeah, these are going to be nice. And then,
very cool.
Let me see. I have another.
Wow.
Yeah, so the female, this is the female that has this sort of lighter look to her, and the male's a little darker. But it's interesting because he's also had like basically the sun-kissed pop up in these animals, not even
really
pairing sun-kissed into them. And I've noticed this female, like her head is a slightly paler color, like noticeably, like you would see with sun-kissed, it's noticeably sort of different. So I'm wondering if that's at play in there at all. But
wow, man, I cannot wait to see what that grows up to.
Yeah, I have pictures of adults somewhere. I'd have to hunt them down, but oh my god, dude, it's like better than the hunt club stuff, in my opinion. Like the Spring Island animals, like the adults that I've seen, make the hunt club stuff look like a freaking joke. I don't personally. I just they're more. It's more of a deeper orangish red. It's not that bright. Much different red. It's
and
almost
there's nowhere
fire engine red than it
yes. I was gonna say a fire engine red, old farmhouse red. You also don't have the black that the hunt club stuff has.
Some of them do.
Okay.
It's not as it's not as thick, but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, those are. I feel bad because we've gone back and forth for weeks of like, hey, you want to meet up this week? Yeah, sure. And then holidays and work and all kinds of stuff. So finally happened. But
that's great, man. Those things are awesome looking.
Yeah,
absolutely awesome. I sent you Facebook the corralling pictures, if you will. So it's kind of hard because I filmed it through the tub, but it's still like an observation, like because I've seen the stilettos eat before. I've seen them envenomate prey. Excuse me. I've seen them consume prey. I've caught the tail end of a prey consumption. I've seen hunting pattern and hunting tactics, but I've never seen this. And like, I know my vocalization of the rapid fire strike is not doing it justice. It was so quick and such a burst that and I'm wondering if it was simply because it was against the tub, and it just happened to make that audible sound of it hitting the tub, or that pecking hitting the tub, or if that's just how this particular one does it, or how irregularis, the species, does it. But here you can see the pinky in the middle and the loop of body around it, corralling the prey item. live prey consumption right now. So if you are watching, look away.
Good catch.
Yeah.
As it's happening, look away.
Yeah. But you can see that it has one fang in the prey item. Excuse me. And it's throwing a loop of its body to kind of keep it steady.
Yeah.
And
Almost
then it's,
pinning it like Pituophis will do.
yes, almost pinning it like Pituophis or Indigos will pin stuff down. And then here it is, that loop, unwinding the loop.
And that's, I mean, those things are eaten consistently now.
Yeah, so I've only got 2 left. This one here will eat a pinky every single time I put it in there. I have another one that's a much older, larger female that is hit or miss, man. She'll eat a pinky and then she'll go 2-3 weeks with nothing, and then she'll eat a pinky again. So, and I tried to do the snails again, thinking maybe she prefers the snails, but she leaves the snails and then will eat the pinky. So I kind of just keep feeding her, and if she eats, she eats. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
Yeah.
So, but she's the oldest one surviving, so we'll just keep it at that. But I am a firm believer that these animals, at least in our hemisphere's climate, in our hemisphere's temperature time frame, which should be very, very similar to where they're from. I don't exactly know what parallel they are because I'm on the 26th. I bet you it's damn near close. Anyway, sorry. They are feeding more in winter than they are in summer. And I don't know if that's just my animals or if that's indicative of that species or if that's a genus thing of the region. I don't know.
I don't know, because I mean, if we sort of chew the fat on that, as it starts to cool down, I noticed with rodent production, typically those in between periods where we're going into spring and then when we're getting out of summer is when production seems to ramp up a little bit because temperatures just it's much more comfortable. And so I'm wondering with those cooler temps if they're more inclined to eat because stuff's going to be in the burrows more. It's not going to be out and about because of the cooler temperatures, which means they're going to be nests full of babies sort of ready to go. Sure. And maybe that's a trigger for them. It's just cooler weather means availability, kind of like a rainy season would be for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Send it to Lisa. She said she's got to see this on the TV.
All right. I'll send it to you right now, Lisa. I'm trying to find a parallels map of Africa to get a good idea of if we're in the same area. Man.
It's probably fairly close, I would think. It's not too far.
Yeah, but remember, the planet's got the axis, so I think it's actually...
No, it doesn't, Phil. It's flat.
Lower. Dude, all these maps are not what I need.
Why is it showing me a map of downtown Boston?
See, I typed in parallels. I should have typed in latitude. Hold on.
Then you're just going to get a bunch of Jimmy Buffett stuff. Changes in attitude. Changes in latitude.
Why is this so hard to find?
Started the latest episode of Venom Exchange Radio.
Oh, did you now? Yeah, we
got the Vipera. I was sitting in the parking lot of the gas station, procrastinating on getting things done. I was looking up Vipera Ursini, and I was like, "Oh God!" I didn't realize they were that small. So, from pictures, there's zero context in a lot of pictures that show you how small those are.
For sure.
But damn it, those things are cool, man. That whole genus, it's so neat. Kaznikovi has always been my favorite out of that whole group, next to Amidites. And this is why do you think it is that there's not a lot of people keeping those in general? Do you think it's a temperature thing?
No, in the United States,
yeah,
I think it's an availability thing. I think it's an availability thing and a price and cost thing. I feel like the people that have them have no problem paying a premium to have them imported from Europe by professional breeders, and they know how niche it is, and because of that, when they do produce offspring, it goes to their other niche loving friends. It's not a mainstream thing because of the cost, because of the price.
Yeah, but Amidites are popular.
Right, and they're
Amidites
also
are pretty easy to get.
but they're also very expensive, because to get a real true locality is going to run you well over $500 each, and some of the mutts may go for, $350,
That's not that
$400.
bad.
I know, but remember, venomous people come from a long line of $50, $20, $100, so.
See, because I'm a higher class of people and I'm a chondro keeper, I look at these things in terms of chondro money, as it spills out of my pockets. $500. That's baby Biok at a Repticon price.
Nice.
No problem whatsoever.
Nice. Well, I know that there was no Orsini in the United States, and a friend of mine who doesn't do venomous anymore, he had a venom production facility probably about 15, almost 20 years ago, and he imported a pair from Russia, and I think he paid like $1,000 each back then. It was like the only pair in the country.
God, imagine how tiny those babies are.
Oh yeah, for sure,
dude.
And I feel like it is very excuse me, it's difficult on a lot of people who aren't enthusiastic about the natural history, because it's just a zigzag snake.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not really into that,
insulting.
If you're not into that group, they all look fairly similar. Like, I understand from that aspect,
right?
But
right.
I just
like Nipper had a trio of Renardi, and dude, those things were killer, man. It was like a bone white snake, and somebody just Sharpie markered the zigzag. Gorgeous animals. I don't even want to know what they would cost to have them in the US, And here's the problem is, even if you buy them in Europe, they're not expensive. Let's say they're 200-300 euros each, right? You're still paying $1,200, $1,500 in airfare and freight to get them here. Yeah. So that's where the issue truly lies, and that's where the cost gets so high. Going back to our latitudes and longitudes. So I found a good map. So because Africa is so large and it bows over so much of the planet, the equator, I know it's going to sound funky, but you have 10-degree gaps, right, going north and south. But because of the arc of the Ivory Coast, where my stilettos are from is between 25 and 27 degrees latitude, which is where I'm at 26. So that's pretty damn good, in my opinion. So I wonder if it really is a seasonal thing, and this is the cooler months. Maybe this is the rainy season. I don't know. I mean, I had the weather app, and it doesn't look like it's raining in Benin right now. So
it's because it doesn't rain.
Actually, I'm pretty sure these are from Togo.
Sorry, Adam. What is Ursini? Was meadow vipers, right?
Yeah, meadow.
And then Kaznikovi
is Kaznikov's viper. Yeah, Kaznikov's viper. And then Renardi is Renard's viper.
Yeah. All the Vipera stuff is named after like people.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
And then actually, there's a part that didn't make it to the podcast because look at that! Look at that snake. But see, I don't even want to know what that costs in the U.S. That's got to be thousands of dollars, man. Look at that thing.
I don't know if Koritz had some Kaznikovi. I don't know if he still does or not, but God, those things just kill me, dude. This is a dream species right here. This is like top 5. Nothing is an object I can keep. Like, look. Oh my God, look at it.
Oh, that's wild, man. Absolutely wild. It's the Darth Maul snake. Look at it.
It is.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And they're small, which appeals to me.
Yeah.
They're cool as hell, man.
They take cool temperatures. I mean, shit, Amidites, they find them basking in snow in Montenegro,
I believe it.
Super cool. excuse me, there was one part of the podcast that we cut out because we had interruptions and a phone rang and we were just chumming it up. But we talked about Lake Scutari, which is a famous locality of Vipera amidites, the long-nosed or long-nosed European viper.
Yeah.
But when you look up Lake Scutari and on Google, you probably will only find the viper. You won't find the lake. And a lot of people are like, well, where is said lake? Is it even a real thing? Is this locality real? So from what I gather, the lakes changed names because I knew where the lake was on a map. I had old atlases that I used that had the lake in it. But when you go on Google Earth or you go onto Google Maps or whatever, Apple Maps, that lake ain't there. Nothing comes up. And that's because in Europe, they changed the name to Lake Skadar. And I think it's dependent on where you are in Europe is what they call it a different name. But if you go onto Google and you look up Lake Skadar, which is a border lake between Albania and Montenegro, you will see where the vipers come from. So there you go.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys were talking about Latasti.
Oh yeah, dude, Latastis, amazing.
I think amidites are cooler, man.
Yeah, maybe.
I like the look of amidites more. Personally. Like this is nice though. Like I like that.
Yeah, it's good looking. It's good looking. But yeah, definitely check out Venom Exchange Radio, episode 21, our start of our third year going.
Is it really?
It's our third season.
Wow.
Yeah, start of the third year. And we talk about the venomous of Europe, not just vipers. Also got some telescopus in there. And some Maupilon.
Yeah, those, man, you guys talking about those, like I can see that being a handful. You know, it's a gnarly animal.
Yeah, man.
It's big enough.
My late mentor had a pair, dude. Those things were taller than me. I mean, I'm only 5'6", but still.
I was gonna say that's not that. It's not that
we all can't be Sasquatches, pal.
I know. Phil, how do I convince my wife to let me get some pygmy rattlers?
We established this. You have to procreate a second time or buy
without those things.
Okay, well, I don't know, man.
You gotta. If it were you, what would you do?
If it was me, I would set up an enclosure that's escape proof and marked appropriately without any kind of subtly. And I would have nothing in it. And I would leave it there for a while.
So it just becomes a part of the room.
So it's just part of the room. And eventually she's going to be in there and she's going to be like leaning on it, you know? And then she'll be like, hey, where'd this one come from? I don't remember this one. Like, baby, it's been there for months.
Dude.
She'll be like, oh, okay.
I did that with my parents. I don't know how many times. Like I'd have stuff. They'd be like, "Oh, when'd you get that?" And I would have gotten it like the day before. And I'd be like, "Oh, I've had that for like a couple weeks."
No, but I'm not talking about that. You're not lying. I would set that thing up for weeks, if not months, with nothing in it, and then you just put them in there, and that's it. Better ask for forgiveness than permission. Worst case scenario, you let them go where you got them, you know?
I'd have to find some spots here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen one.
Yeah.
The
Adam says that he's been loving Mark O'Shea's Snakes of the World. He's been reading a bunch of it this week. There's actually a second edition due to come out very soon, if not already out. It may already be out. I can't remember how many revised taxonomic revisions. Excuse me. I'm excited.
First of all, fuck having to keep up with that.
I mean, but if you had a book that had fucking everything, you know what I mean? We had that book. We had that book for a very long time. It was called the THF Atlas of Snakes. It was an orange book. There were 2 copies, a big giant Bible size one and a little tiny dense doorstop one. And it was basically a picture book of every mainstream species of snake in the world. You remember that book?
That Snakes of the World one has so many species that I had never heard of or seen before.
And that's why it's amazing.
It is, but at the same time, taxonomy is changing so much. I'd be like, I'm not going to revise it because y'all just going to change it again in 6 months. Like,
well, no, I mean, it took them, I think, was it 5 years? Actually, Adam, you have the book in front of you. What's the copyright on your book? But definitely, it's been at least, I think, 5 or 6 years since the first one came out. And in that time, we've grown a lot in knowledge. So, and most of it's thanks to Mark.
I got Loafman's book, and I'm itching to get into it, man. It's like just flipping through it, like the pictures and stuff. The quality of the pictures and stuff in it. It's just
man,
unbelievable. I'm like,
and I love. Oh my God. I love hearing him talk about how everyone was so eager to help him and contribute, like the community aspect of it, the international community aspect of it. That makes the book amazing on itself.
I mean, I'm just happy that he was able to do it, because in our experience with the magazine, it hasn't always been that easy.
It's true. It's very true. I mean, it did take him a few years, though, for one book. We were doing it once a month. So
2023 by Quarto Publishing.
I wonder if he's got the new one.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he's got the second edition. Oh man.
Any plans for the year as far as any species you're wanting to dive into more or get into?
If I will, it is very much dependent on. All right, let me start over. I need to see what my suboc sex ratio, my Trans-Pecos rat snake sex ratio is going to be, because my silver male looks like it might be a girl. I've never probed it. I'm only going off sheds, but the sheds have miraculously turned with 2 red dots and a slit. So, depending on what she becomes, I may have to get a male suboc, because that would put me at 3 girls right now.
I know you'd be absolutely.
I know, it's just mortified. So that's definitely in the woodworks. Maybe another girl, because I'm not a blonde guy at all, but I kind of feel like I should have at least one. So that's in my thought process. I really want to work on the silver stuff, so that's the main focus. And then the albino that I got from David Powell, that thing is head for silver and blonde, and it's River Road albino. So like we've been on River Road special. But other than that, it's all dependent on if I produce anything, because I got the Cape Puffs paired up. Now, puff adders have one of the highest, if not the highest, fecundity of any live bearing snake. I think the record was like 73 offspring in captivity in one litter. But that was Moroccan Western Sahara locality. These are from the Cape in South Africa. So, which I want to bring up.
We have the opposite. We don't have.
What's that?
So hopefully it's kind of the opposite, and you don't end
up. And that's what I was gonna say. Is so
40 plus babies.
Remind me to go back to this locality thing when we were done talking about babies. But because I have a whole iNaturalist thing I want to bring up, but this particular locality is known to stay small, and the adults I have supposedly are like 3 or 4 years old, and they're probably 2 foot, if that, maybe 2.5 feet. So that was kind of the appeal to it, aside from them being absolutely stunningly gorgeous. So if they produce, and then wrinkles, they have anywhere from 6 to 15 to 18 babies on average, and my girl is really big. So for wrinkles, that is. So I don't know if I'm going to have 10 or 15 baby spinning cobras, which is,
and they're live bearers too, right?
They are live bearers as well, yes. And then if the water pythons go, there's another clutch there. So I don't want to start putting feelers out and making contacts and calling breeders and like getting excited for Daytona, only to be like, I have 200 babies. What the hell? You know what I mean? I'll be honest. I don't want to be Chris and Smitty. Because I feel like Chris and Smitty had a
Yeah.
really rough year last year because they had baby overload.
It wasn't. It's so frustrating because the thing that really tipped the scale was that second clutch from that female.
Yeah.
Like if it had just been one, it'd be fine. And I mean, it is fine. Like they're taken care of and stuff. Like it's all good. But it's like it was. Yeah, it's a lot of babies. It's a lot more work.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting, man. I feel really good about 2024. And then honestly, I really want to focus on my caging. I've got so much stuff that's on bare essentials, and I really want to get some dried hay and grass and put that in with the wrinkles and put that in with the puff adders and give these more arid stepland species more of a grassy environment. I have a Instagram friend on Instagram. No, it's a late night. Sorry, guys. Who has wrinkles, and he put them on like Timothy hay, you get from the pet store for your rabbit or your guinea pig or what have you. And dude, they cryptic bask underneath the hay. So I kind of want to see that. That's something I definitely want to get into because my attempts at growing grass indoors has peaks and valleys, and I feel like the snakes are just going to destroy it anyway. So I figure if he can get cryptic basking using Timothy hay, I can get cryptic basking doing Timothy hay. So what harm could it really do, and finish building my black boxes. That's a big deal, man. Like I feel bad. I got this big, beautiful adult silver female Trans-Pecos rat snake, and she's in a tub and she's happy. She's my bright and shining star, but she needs a rock escarpment with a background and maybe like a little trickle waterfall. And I have all these ideas and delusions of grandeur, if you will, in my black box cages. So I got to figure out what the hell I'm doing, put pen to paper, and just get on the ball with it.
See, Joe said he's had Loafman's book for a while and still haven't read it. I'm kicking myself, but it's my fault. I mean, that's kind of the nice thing. Like I buy books all the time. And it's one of those things where it's like, I want to read it immediately, but it's like, it's also not going anywhere. It'll be there when I get around to it. That may be 3 years on my shelf before I get it, get around to it. But I also I try to finish a book before I start another one. And like right now I'm rereading the Zoolander Philip Condro book. And so it's like, as soon as I'm done with that, I'll get into Loafman's. And I also found another one. Hamilton had it, and I thought it was an old book, and it's actually like brand new. Like it just came out.
Oh, really?
Let me find it. I guess maybe that might be a little concerning if it just came out and it's already on Hamilton. But
yeah, and who knows, man? Hamilton's got a lot of stuff that's still in print.
It is Snakes, Biology, Diversity, and Behavior, and it is by David Gower, Katie Garrett, and Simon Maddock.
Nice.
It's $21 on Amazon. I think I got it for a similar price on Hamilton, maybe a little cheaper. But sort of just flipping through it, it seems fairly sort of standard of like, this is where snakes came from, and sort of the basis of the organisms as a whole.
Yeah.
But I need to sort of flip through it a little more, and I need to get it read so I can bring it up whenever we do a book club, which has to happen soon.
Yeah, man, we're long overdue for book club. Definitely.
We should plan those for like once a quarter.
We should plan them for like once a month.
I don't read that fast. I don't.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. There's a lot of books that I've dude, I would say there's maybe a handful of her books I've read cover to cover. Most of them, they're reference books. I read the parts that interest me, and I have them for future referencing. So, Lisa's favorite book, Mark O'Shea's Snakes of Papua New Guinea. I have an original first edition. I haven't read that thing cover to cover, but I read the part on Bolins. I read the part on Fuscus. I read the part on Boiga. So
nerd.
Lisa
said, did you see Kayla Martin's Egyptian false cobra enclosure? She recently joined the Ganyasoma group, and I think I friended her And the stuff that she's got and the setup she has are freaking amazing.
Really?
I need to hit her up about either coming on THP or coming on here, because she's
Yeah,
like, her collection's awesome
Can you pull it up?
and her setups are awesome. Let me see.
Yeah, pull it up. And Lisa, I'm sending you that video right now. So yeah, the enclosures that people are doing now is just absolutely incredible. I'm envious, and it's crazy because it's an envy and an inspiration, because it's like, if they can do it, I can do it, but probably not as well as them. So
oh, come on, you can do it, Facebook.
yeah, I actually I probably shouldn't say this on air because I don't want someone to steal my idea, but I have several old herp books, and by old I mean probably at least 100 years old. And I do not believe that there is anyone still publishing it or owning the rights to it. And my thought was to do an audiobook of it, because there is no publisher or copyright or anything. So I need to look into the legalities of that and then do it, if it is.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about anybody stealing that idea, because I don't think there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be like, oh, I totally need to do that before Phil does.
Well, no, I didn't necessarily mean it like that, but some of the books, I don't know if our listeners are voice actors and actresses, but some of the books, I wonder if people would even want to buy it, you know, because it is a lot of outdated stuff. So, but we'll see. I'm gonna dig a little deeper on that. Did you find it?
Yep, it is working on coming up right now.
Nice. I'm excited. Edge of my seat. Holy crapola. Look at that enclosure. That is fantastic.
Yeah, her persimmon enclosures is really nice too. It's her persimmon's just decked out with plants all over the place.
Yeah. And look at those little buggers in there, just chilling. I'd love to know what the soil is. That sandiness. Is that a scarab stone in there? Look at that.
That's what it looks like.
And what's interesting, for those of you listening on your commute to work, this is what appears to be a 4 or maybe 6 foot vision cage. There is a stick-on picture backdrop, much like what myself and Dr. Wyman and Bill Bradley use. There is a sandy clay soil throughout the entire enclosure. There are several cork flats and cork rounds, as well as some dead grass. And there's also some of the, dare I say, cliche pet store rock hides that are in there, but they're tastefully stuffed into the sand so that they don't necessarily look like they're from the pet store, if that makes sense.
2 basking zones too.
Yeah, 2 basking zones. Is the lighting hanging?
So it looks like there's 2 bulbs on the left end, and then on this side it's in that actual little socket that the visions have.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And it looks like either probably an LED or maybe even a UV in the top.
Yeah, because that looks like a 4 foot, and they have that flat angled section in the back. So
let me see if I can find her persimmon setup too.
And Lisa says the sand is decomposed granite. Really? That I need to look into, because that looked really cool. That's a hell of an enclosure.
Yeah, and her page is Infrared Reptiles, and I think she just started an Instagram backup because she followed me today, I think, on one of the accounts.
Excellent.
Let's see. Yeah, her collection's really cool. She's got some really neat stuff. She's got some Mad Hogs.
Nice.
Looks like she's got some files. Sulfurious.
Wow, she's got the gauntlet, man.
Yeah. Really choice.
Very cool.
Choice stuff.
Hey, Skylar's in the house.
THN Man of the Year.
Yeah, I realized that those Cape Puffs got to get set up in a 3-foot viv with some of that straw hay and sandy soil and a proper basking site and a really good backdrop. See if I can get some Instagram acquaintances to send me some in situ photos that I can use for the proper locality. That's what you're supposed to remind me about locality. So in herpetoculture, we typically use words like Eastern or Cape to signify or peninsula, right? To signify a locality. But those words are, in my opinion, are very vague, very, very broad, right? I mean, you say Eastern king snake, we kind of know what it is, but the Eastern seaboard is a very large seaboard of this continent. So there are several different king snakes that reside and several different locality phenotypes that reside in that. Wow, look at that enclosure. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what she's got her percentum set up in.
Wow. Dude, she's giving you a run for your money.
I know, making me look like a dickhead.
I know, right? Jeez. Wow, look at that. The cork tubes up high. I do love how she has thermometers throughout the whole thing. That's awesome. It's a good looking animal. I like it.
Yeah, it's real nice.
So going back to these vague locality words, right? So a lot of people with South African specific animals will use the word Cape. And that could mean Eastern Cape Province, Western Cape Province, the actual Cape on the southwest corner of South Africa. It could mean Cape Town. Excuse me. So when I acquired the adult puffs that I have that are Cape Puffs, they didn't really look like Cape Puffs. To me, they looked like northwestern KwaZulu-Natal. And the books that I had was leaning towards that Peter Martinsburg locality, right? And when I had looked up in the books that I have, as well as some online pages, some Facebook groups, and I'm always on the African ID pages to kind of get an idea of locality phenotypes and what people are seeing in their yard, because an animal that's professionally photographed by a herp tour or by a bird watching tour is going to look possibly different than just a puff adder in someone's yard covered in mud, right? Well, thanks to iNaturalist, I didn't realize this, but you can select a region and then select the species within the region and really get an idea of what phenotypes you're working with in that area by all of the standard observations. So I'm actually convinced that the pair of puffs that I have paired up right now, these Cape Puffs, are not KwaZulu-Natal. They are probably from just east of Cape Town, which would truly make them Cape Puffs.
Yeah.
So, and what's interesting is we were talking about sizes and the actual size of the specimens. Both the ones that come out of the Cape Town area and the ones that come out of KwaZulu-Natal both stay smaller. Both have a very rich, dark black base color to them. So the question is, do I attempt to do some ancestral digging and see if I can find the exporter and see where they were original parent stock was field collected and bred and whatever? Or do I just say screw it and assume that they're actually Cape Town or Eastern Cape Town locality because they really look it? So
I don't know. It'd be fun to dig and find out. I mean, I've done that with some of the condor lineages and stuff, and it's actually a lot of fun to try and like hunt down old pictures and information and forum posts and stuff about some of those original like grandparents and things like that.
Yeah, because I mean, anything that's native to South Africa and it has to come out, I think it's got to be F3 before it can leave. So I'm fairly confident that these are captive bred. And I know the importer personally, so I could ask him and kind of go that route. But
yeah,
I just thought it was really interesting. I found myself on iNaturalist looking at all these different phenotypes and really zoning in on the regional variances and the regional phenotypes of different species. I thought that was fantastic. So just trying to share the thought process. Maybe I'm late to the game. Who knows?
Are captive puffs easier to work with than imported ones? Like
Yeah, always.
proper?
Oh yeah, because a baby captive puff will literally eat anything you put in front of it. In my opinion, of most of the ones that I've worked with over the years have been Tanzanian, just because they produce a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanzania was, I'm trying to think. Tanzania was the main locality of imported puff adders, hands down. Especially since you had so many other really, really attractive phenotypes outside of Tanzania, and stuff kind of walked across the border. You know what I mean? And the babies that were farmed or captive bred, they always ate right out of the gate. But I had friends that got adults to raise and hopefully
Yeah.
produce, and they would be very defensive at times, and it
Mm-hmm.
was almost like if you left the food in there, they'd eat it, but if you tried to like actively feed them, oh, no way in hell.
Yeah. I have to do that with the Jansenii a lot of the time if they're not in their hide, because sometimes if I just dangle it outside the hide, they'll grab it and pull it in and eat it. But like I fed both of them the other day, and they both just decided to come out and grab and wrap. And it's like I have to leave the room then, because if I'm moving around, they stop what they're doing and just watch me. Like they don't get defensive or anything, but they just put everything on pause, basically.
Sure.
So I'd leave the room and let them finish doing their thing, and
yeah, and I feel like that is one of the good things about the British genus is, for the most part, they are very visual in their, I'm not going to say their emotions, but their stress level. So you'll know if they're having anxiety, if they're feeling defensive, if they're asleep, you know what I mean? If they're actively cruising for a mate, if they're actively hunting, which they don't typically do because they're ambush predators. So something might be up in the cage, temperatures might be off. They're very, they let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So when you try to feed and they do the nose down, they do the arch up, they do the nape to the side, they kind of turn to the side like a false water cobra. They let you know what's going on. So I find that very, very helpful with a species, especially something that you've imported and is fresh and you're attempting to deworm and attempting to acclimate and what
absolutely.
have you. So yeah,
it does make it easier. I mean, it's the same, very similar with the Gonyosoma and even chondros for that matter. It's they wear their emotions on their sleeve, so to speak, to where, especially the Gonyosoma, where it's like you can tell they have sort of like levels of how much they're willing to deal with your bullshit. It's like they start out kind of,
for sure,
staring at you, and then it gets raised up to like the stopping and the super slow tongue flick. And the slower that tongue
out,
the
in.
slower that gets, like the more irritated they're getting, because it just ramps up, and then they start to puff the neck,
neck
and then it's like, then they stop and they're rearing back, and then they're doing all three of those things. You're like, oh dude, like it's like it escalates,
and it's tough because the Gonyosoma and the Bitis and even like cobras, the threat display, let me phrase that, the defense display is so incredible and so fascinating. But at the same time, I'm saying in my head, don't stress, be calm, don't do like I want stress levels at a minimum. I want you to be happy snake, happy snake. You know what I mean? But it's still badass to watch.
Yeah.
So
well, it's really interesting with the Jansenii to see how like reflexive that throat puff is.
Yeah.
Because like I'll have the female out, while I'm cleaning or something, and I have a hook usually, because if you're calm and you're not making quick movements, you're just kind of walking them a little bit.
Yeah.
They seem to be okay, but you see the moment you move your head or you do anything that is like,
your wife calls you, the phone rings,
you stop being the tree for like a half a second, and that throat is open. Like, it's up. And then it shrinks back down again, and they kind of keep doing their thing. And then it's like you move something else, you move your elbow, and all of a sudden it's up again. It's just like it's completely reflexive. Like it's almost like they don't have control over it. Like it just happens, And it's cool.
It's very cool. Very cool. And I feel like people that haven't seen an Asian rat snake or a South American puffing species do it, the first time they see it, they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's so cool, man. So cool.
It's I mean, even man with the female Jansen in particular, like the male, he's smaller, he's wimpier. You know, he's not nearly as beefed up as she is, but it's a decent sized snake, man. And when
Yeah.
she's like, when I can tell that she's starting to turn, like she's out and I'm cleaning her, she realizes what's going on after I put her in like a tub to hold her while I, do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Like I open that lid and it's curled up in the corner, frozen, and that tongue again, just like so slowly, and it's like I know if I get my hand within like a foot of you in any direction, like you're going for it. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. I love them. They're just such impressive animals. They're kind of like pines, and just the like
Yeah.
sort of just the intimidation factor of like it's big and it's making its presence known, and
Yeah, man.
I have not kept Spilotes.
I've taken care of Spilotes, but not my own. They were in a warehouse, and there was like 200 of them. But yeah, we didn't keep them long enough to really enjoy them. It was get them in, get them out kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm too much of an old world guy, I think, in the colubrid regard with that kind of stuff. I think the Spilotes sort of do fall in line with Gonyosoma in a lot of ways, in terms of where they sit ecologically and occupy a similar niche and stuff like that. So they'd be a natural fit, I think, if you're in the Gonyosoma.
Yeah,
but just out of preference, I like my Gonyos. So
them and the bird eating snakes too.
Yeah, I would get those before I got Spilotes.
Yeah, they're super cool, man.
I think those things are awesome.
Yeah.
Tree stuff is just cool, Chris. That's right. I really do. This year, my main sort of focus is going to sort of be back to chondros.
It's good, man. Took a little hiatus. Now you're already back in the swing of things.
Yeah, we talked about it on ChondroCast last night. Like, it's been like a 2-year gap from the previous episode to yesterday's, and so it's like in that 2-year gap, it's like I've still kept chondros. I just didn't have anything that was breedable, So it's like I'm just basically it's on pause essentially for 2 years, and now that I'm kind of back in a position to where I am able to potentially produce more again, I'm kind of reshifting my focus back to that. But with the Jansen, I would like to, if I had more space, I would have more adults for sure. And I don't know. I'm not gonna get rid of all the corns and all the bears or anything like that. But I definitely would like to slim down to focus, like narrow the focus on the corn projects too.
Yeah.
Because it has kind of, thanks to Chris, it has kind of gotten a little. It went from this to this.
Yeah. You went from like 30 degrees to 90.
Well, the problem is Chris like sends me pictures. He's like, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, "It's awesome." He's like, "You want it?" I'm like, "Sure." And then like that happens like 20 times.
Yeah.
And bastard.
Oh yeah. That'll happen.
He'll get you.
Do you currently have, let me rephrase that. Babies aside, do you currently have more corns or bairds?
Corns.
Okay.
Corns by a long shot.
How many adult bairds you got? He's counting the racks in his head. His eyes are fluttering from left to right.
7.
Nice. And how many of those
8,
have you?
8 if you count some that's like another year they'll be ready to go.
Okay, so the wholebacks.
Not even just stuff like I have another male hypo that came from Matt Most that I've been raising up. That's of age. Just got to get a little more size on him. But...
And how many adult corns you got?
Oh God!
All right, we leave it at that. Leave it at that.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Probably at least 20.
Wow. Good.
But
nice.
I don't have any Motleys. I've got other stuff solid. If you message me, we'll work something out.
Commiserate.
Come on. That's the again, the frustrating part about these hypo babies I have is like they are really nice and they're het pied and they're het like anery and they're het diffused and like they will make some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to get there to make them, you know.
Yeah. I will say, just I don't know why saying motley made me think of it, but my Sandoval's garter snake that I got, I'm falling in love with that girl. So if I can find a boy, I would 1,000% try and breed those. But the odds of that are very slim.
Adam, send me pictures.
Nice.
I had, oddly enough, so Adam got one of the Ladies Island's Het Castagna Motley babies, and an anery that I didn't produce. That came from Chris, but I had a handful of those Het Castagna Motleys roll on me.
Really?
Not from anything like it wasn't anything like pathogen related. I don't know. I had 3 or 4 of them just kind of really go downhill and kind of quickly.
Interesting.
And I don't know if it was, again, like feeding and the temperatures were cooler. So then, that pinky or whatever just kind of went bad and they got septic or something. But I just oddly had more issues with those than I had other stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know what that was all about, but yeah. And they were all fairly small too. They were all kind of runty. I don't know. Maybe something's going on there, but I still have one. That one's doing great. So
good.
So I was originally planning to pair the Persimmon this year too, but after talking to Matt some, they're of age, but without, because these are the Vietnamese locality, which Matt says get bigger than the others. But it's hard to find a picture of a full-grown adult Persimmon in ratio to a person or like really anything else. So it's really hard to tell. I'm like, are they supposed to be bigger than a rhino? Or are they supposed to be about the same size as a rhino? Like, where are we at with that? And he was saying they're supposed to be, these get bigger than an adult rhino, which if that's the case, then these are going to need a little more time. Like they probably could go, the female would probably be okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just need to.
I think if you're okay waiting another season, I don't think it would hurt.
You know? I mean, I'm not in any rush.
Get them more acclimated to you, get them more acclimated to the room. So yeah. And Solid Serpents, I appreciate the tip for garters. These are African garters, not normal garters. So thank you though.
So chondros again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I've seen them lock a lot.
Is she sagging at all or no?
No. So I was originally thinking maybe she had something going on, but then she shed and she had a pretty massive BM, and I'm like, oh, okay, those weren't eggs.
Okay. Doesn't mean that nothing stuck.
No, for sure. And I mean, as I was handling her earlier, it felt a little bumpy, like maybe there was, we were getting some follicles going or something. Time will tell, but
yeah,
I'm hoping with this storm we have coming tomorrow, that'll really kind of kick them into gear.
That's good.
It was funny though, because I was cleaning them and I had her, I let her cruise the rim of the tub and stuff while I'm pulling the puppy pads out. And it's like as soon as she would start moving, that male, he was like, "Oh, you're going somewhere? I'm going with you." Like,
okay,
like follow her. It was strange.
Yeah.
Before he was just sitting, doing his thing, completely ignoring her. But it's like as soon as she started moving, he was like,
"Hey man, some guys like the chase."
I guess so.
Yeah.
He's such a punk, man. That snake is such a dick. For no reason. Ever since
and these are both Biak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the entire time I've had him, dude, he's just been an ass.
He's a Biak.
he's the reason that I'm like, nah, the stereotype is real. You know,
Yeah,
people are like
for
Biaks
sure.
aren't that bad. It's like captive bred Biaks aren't that bad. Imported adult Biaks are everything people say they are. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
for sure. And for those listening and they don't know what Biak is, we're referring to the Biak locality of green tree pythons.
they're big, they're green
And yellow.
and yellow.
Lots of yellow.
They're gnarly. Like the captive bred ones, though, they really are. Even with those F1s that I produced, like most of those were pretty mellow, and even the one holdback I have still, you know, once she's out, she's fine. Like she's not anything like what Biaks are made out to be. And
you know, fresh off the boat's a lot different.
yes,
Yeah.
But I had that female out, dude, and she's such a massive snake that I was like, a bite from her would suck. Like that would suck. That's the size chondro that like you get bit in the hand or something, you're probably gonna have nerve damage in some regard. Like,
wow,
you're gonna if they hit the right spot, like you're gonna know it.
Yeah. Speaking of Biaks, I completely forgot to tell you. So I have a friend who has a Exoterra style enclosure with a Biak, probably 2 foot. And I guess at some point he didn't latch the door right and it got out. And he has vaulted ceilings with like aesthetic beams that are like 30 feet in the air. And from dinner time to the next morning, that Biak was coiled on the top beam, like 30 feet in the air.
I believe it.
And it's just like, you don't think about, like, you think like, okay, green tree python, like they're in the tree, but like, even when you see them on iNaturalist, you see them on documentaries, you see people field herping, they're usually a few feet off the ground, you know, or like eye level, head level, whatever. No, this sucker was least 30 feet up. And I was shocked. He sent me pictures. Awesome.
Yeah, the book was saying they'd go up, you know, into these trees, something crazy, like, you know, I think he said like 80 feet or 60 feet or something like that. Like, it's weird. And then when they come down to like hunt and stuff, they're usually like less than 2 feet off the ground.
That's wild, man.
It's really, their biology and ecology is really interesting in comparison to a lot of species. You know, just the whole ontogenetic shift, not only visually, but as far as like how they
physically,
live. Their diet completely shifts with the color change. Their habitat completely shifts with the color change. Like the whole thing, like it's almost a completely different snake from A to B.
Yeah.
And yes, I guess I'll start calling her Bobcat. I named her Baby D, but Skylar and Jenkins just keep saying name her Bobcat. So
okay.
Because so backstory, my neighbor who lives down the street, who is probably a crackhead, has a girlfriend whose name is Bobcat.
Okay.
And they're at the end of the street fighting and screaming at each other all the time.
Is that her legal name?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
So I guess Bobcat is what Skylar said she should be named.
Nice.
But
apropos.
She's been interesting too, because sometimes, like today when I was cleaning, you know, I pulled her out and she was fine. Like never struck, never hissed, none of that stuff. Like completely mellow.
Good girl.
Other days, I open that this is because they're in a Python portal. I open up that door, dude, and I like go in to get the water bowl or something, and she just starts swinging. Doesn't know where she's going, but she's just going for it.
Good old Bobcat.
It's so strange. I'm like, she might have that like multiple personality thing going on.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, shifting gears, I am having so much fun with my African green toads that I'm housing for myself and Billy. Dude,
I think
they are
the slow motion video that you posted them.
Yeah. I feel bad. Well, here's the thing. So I wanted to do the slow motion to see them hunt. I didn't realize that they keep missing. Like, for real? And then I throw superworms in there
How do
too.
you survive?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're probably not eating crickets where they come from. I don't know if there's crickets in Egypt, but I'm sure there's some kind of cricket, locust, grasshopper type thing that they're eating. But dude, when I throw in superworms, it's almost like they're skeeved out by the texture because obviously the superworm is slow, so they always get it. But the minute they put it in their mouth, they're like and they spit it out, and then they eat it again. It's like, oh, I don't want to eat that. Wait a minute, I probably should have eaten that, and then they go for it a second time. So they're stupid adorable, man. I'm literally in love with these toads, and with the cool weather, man, I've been going in there like every other night, dude. Before the cool weather, you didn't see any of them. Maybe one or two were out. Maybe one was in the water bowl. They were all under the moss and the hides, just chilling. Now with the cool weather, they're all just sprawled out, like spread eagle against the side of the tub, just loving life, man. Dude, toad-tastic, man. Dude, African green toads, so cool, man. So happy with them. And that's
I would love some of those bumblebees.
yeah, dude.
That's in a species that I've always been interested in, and I don't know that I'll ever get into them. But
are they considered a walking toad? Are they in that genus or that?
I don't think they're not in that same group, but
okay, but they're considered a walking toad.
Kind of like they occupy. So they're I think Argentine.
Yeah, it's like the northeast corner of Argentina.
Like they're in a much drier sort of grassland type habitat, not what you would think as far as South America.
Not straight up tropical.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's they're small little black and yellow toads, man. They just look like they'd be a lot of fun.
Sure. And they are available like in our community, right?
Yeah, Josh's Frog seems to have them periodically. I think I've seen some available in some other spots.
Cool.
I'm actually curious. Let me look up.
Yeah, check them out.
Hop on the market, the morph market, and see.
Yeah, hop on the old double M. Yeah, man, I'm really happy, and I feel like once I give Billy his group, I keep telling everyone, I keep telling myself, I'm going to try and find my local locality of Spadefoots. I think I'm going to do a Spadefoot tank and catch a couple, maybe 2 or 3, just to have them. And because right now I've got mine and I got Billy's Africans. So once I give him his, that'll obviously be less mouths to feed, and I can go try and find some Spadefoots. But yeah, man, dude, the Africans are they're great, man. Just, dude, that room was like 87 and they were just chilling in the moss, just living it, and now it's 62 in the room and they're out spread eagle.
Egyptian green toads the same thing?
Yeah, Egyptian green, African green. Yeah, this is Buphotes bullingeri.
There's some on Morph Market right now for $20.
Yeah, that's about right for imports. I think captive bred babies are probably the same price. There's only a couple people that breed them because most people just get imports. So, and they're not a large toad. They stay within palm size, if you will. But I know Billy and I definitely want to try and breed them. So I've actually been a bit paranoid because some of the girls have been swelling up, and I don't know if that's just because they're getting fat or which is fine by me, or if there's some kind of ovulation of some kind. I don't know all the intricacies, but because there's so much sphagnum moss in there, when they go in the water bowl, obviously moss sticks to them. The little particles of moss go in the bowl, and it makes like a kind of like a pond scum effect.
Yeah.
But before I dump their bowl, I have to sift through with my finger to make sure there's no eggs in there, because I don't want to flush eggs down the toilet, Yeah. But so I've been very paranoid about that. But I think it would be super cool to breed them. And hey, Adam, I don't know
anything like breeding the darts, man. It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Is how many babies do darts have typically? Dendro babies.
Clutch size varies, but typically, like the Vitatus, I'd have clutches of like 10-ish eggs at a time.
And is that typical of Renitomea?
Of the Phyllobates, yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
The Renitomea, like the Vanzolini and stuff, it was like 2 eggs at a time, maybe 3.
Okay. And then I assume Dendrobates would probably be similar to Phyllobates.
Yeah.
Dude, these Bufotes, it's like 150 eggs.
Oh yeah, because they do them in like the strands, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they do them in like a little like a bubble island kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like it sticks to like a reed. But no, Adam's asking if there's any good toad books. There's a lot, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is like, what do I want to dive into? Edition Chimera, which is probably my favorite publisher. Don't tell the Ashleys. They have some really cool books, and I'm just kind of deciding which direction I want to go on. I also have both the field guide to the reptiles of Israel and the definitive book, The Reptiles and Amphibians of Israel. And I haven't even leafed through that yet because these green toads, they're everywhere from, oh, geez, I guess northwestern Libya through Egypt, the Sinai, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, up into southern Turkey. And then there's one or two subspecies mixed within that. And they're very, very similar to the standard Mediterranean green toad. But there's a lot of literature. I got to figure out which ones are going to be worth it, if that makes sense. Sorry, that was kind of a departure in thought.
I miss keeping darts.
Are you just scrolling dart frogs while I'm rambling about toads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy. Darts are cooler.
Oh, they are not cooler. Well, maybe Philobades.
All of them.
I don't know, man. Just
say prices are pretty down on a lot of darts too.
Are they really?
Yeah.
You think people are just breeding them more?
Like the Highland Sirensis.
Yeah.
That are usually pretty expensive, or like $100 a piece right now, which is not expensive. Oh, good lord! Ooh, Fegalamani are going for $1,000 a pop.
Jesus. What about like Lukes and Tinks? I heard like Lukes and Tinks and even Captain Bred Pamilio are like really high right now.
I feel like Pamilio will always be high because those are not like all the Uofega stuff is traditionally pretty difficult to breed.
Right.
And a pair of Sylvatica right now are $2,300.
Which one is Sylvatica again?
That's the. I'll show you. Nope, wrong button.
Oh, okay. I know that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking money, man.
You don't see a lot of those available.
Yeah. It's a lot of money for a little frog. Oof. But just going back to what we were saying, are there Lukes and Tinks like on there or no?
Oh yeah.
Have they gone up in price? Are they still an $80 frog?
So like powder blue Tinks are $50.
Okay.
Standard Lukes are $35.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Any Azuras?
Azurius are going for like $40.
Oh wow. Okay, that's cool.
If anything, prices on those look like they're down as well.
That's good. I saw there was like a spike, and I think like adult Tinks were going for like $250-$300. So
yeah, you can get tadpoles now for $25.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I just miss Rana Tomea the most. I've seen a lot of Terribilis for sale the last couple months.
Yeah, I've noticed that just Philobades in general have been back a little bit.
Bicolors too.
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool.
Vindicta.
What's that?
This is Rana Tomea. It's doop, 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 doop.
So on the same amphibian note, obviously Billy and I are on fucking toad kicks, but he's been sending me, oh, those are really cool.
Yeah.
I think I've seen them before, but that's really cool. It's like for those listening, it's a black frog with cryptic teal legs and cryptic teal patterning on its back with a neon orange head and black eyes. Super cool.
Rana Tomea is the coolest.
Billy and I have been looking at these guys on Instagram doing selective line breeding and morphs of southern toads. And like some of the morphs take away from the southern toad variability, in my opinion. But dude, these guys are killing it with these southern toads. Super selective, man.
Is it like, what are we talking? Like,
Dude,
albino?
hold on. No, dude, not even albino, like crazy morphs. Hold on a second. Let me try and pull it up, and I'll send you a
Scaleless?
link. Ha ha ha. Dude, what? Look at this. I open Instagram to get you the link, and they're listening, man. They're listening.
Oh, yeah.
Look at those tadpoles.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you listening, this is tadpoles on a little plastic tablespoon, and they're neon green and yellow with
Say
black
those are.
dots.
Is that Sirensis or those Variabilis?
These are
Or neither?
so they're Ranitomea, but it doesn't say.
Why would it?
Yeah, why would it?
Remember when I was talking about starting a Dart Frog podcast?
Yeah, right.
I'll do it. God is my witness, and an invert podcast too.
Here, I'm gonna send you these southern toads. Hold on.
On the Facebooks. Okay. Yeah, I mean those prices are high, but I mean when you're talking about Uofega and the really rare, like harder to breed stuff like Lamani and Sylvitica, like it kind of makes sense why they'd be that expensive because they're Uofega as a whole are considerably just more difficult to reproduce because they're egg eaters. That's what Uofega means. Oh, come on.
Can I send them to you on Instagram or no?
I don't think I can get to messages on the desktop.
I'm just gonna screenshot them and send them to you on Facebook. Hang on.
Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, Adam, that corn's looking good, man.
So this is on Instagram. It's called a Tree Frog Collective, and all of the ones that I'm about to send Smitty are all.
Wait,
southern...
I can pull up their account.
Oh, there you go.
Let's do that.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, a Tree Frog Collective, all one word, no underscores or anything, and they have a ton of different frogs and toads. But dude, like they have one. They have a black-eyed Lucy southern toad. They have a pied southern toad with black eyes. They have what's called carbon, which is black-eyed axanthic. And probably my favorite is a standard piebald because it still has all the crazy orange and red pigment. Dude, so freaking cool, man. Look at that. Look at that black. So that's a piebald.
Kind of looks like a burn victim.
You shut your mouth, man. That thing is stunning. It's a
I'm not saying it's not
toad.
cool.
It's a jet black toad with jet black eyes. The parotid glands are neon orange. The face and arms are orange. It's like the Kaznakovi of toads.
This is true. See,
and don't get me wrong. Some of the albinos are it's just a yellow and white frog. You know what I mean? Like the albino kind of doesn't do it for me, but dude, like the carbon, black-eyed axanthic, so cool.
Which
yeah, like that one. That's a black-eyed Lucy. Like that's cool. Creepy. Yeah, it is kind of creepy. It's very alien-like. And the one to the left of that, that's the carbon. Like that. That's so cool, man.
It looks like the slee stack from Land of the Lost.
It does look like a slee stack from Land of the Lost, most definitely. And then, dude, go to that piebald with the red next to it. No, go up. But yeah, right there. That one. I think that's the same toad from earlier. Dude, that thing is too cool, man.
Little Darth Maul toad.
Yeah, little Darth Maul toad. So freaking cool. And they're southern, so they're hardy. They're easy to care for.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. So
What is
if
this?
Fish and Wildlife pulls me out of everything that I know and love, I'm just gonna keep southern toads. Fuck it.
The Vietnamese mossies are cool, I will say. As far as tree frogs go, that'd be one I'd be getting.
Yeah, dude. They're cool. That's the carbon.
Black-eyed.
Example. So. Yeah.
Do they have any pictures of like their setups for those? I'm curious how they're keeping.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a pied.
Wow. It looks like a burnt marshmallow.
that you made radioactive.
Again, I like it. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Not saying it looks bad. Just we're all thinking it. I'm just saying it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lychees. Look at the freaking brows on this guy.
Yeah, man. That is one hell of a dumpy.
I love how stupid they look. It's like not a thought between those eyes and a Windows 98 loading screen in the background.
Dude, I watched Anna Maria's Dumpy the other night. We were laying in bed. She fell asleep, and like the TV cast just enough light for me to see the frog in the enclosure. It's a Exoterra, and I watched that thing scale the glass all the way to the top, and then just slide all the way down. I felt bad for him, but
some of the darts would do that. They'd be on the side and they just slowly be like,
yeah, just slide down with their fat little bodies. I love it. It's so chubby. Oh, it's good. We need more toad people on the show, man. We got to get Aaron back on. Woods and Forest Aaron. I love that guy.
Yeah, have you talked to him about the morph stuff? What are his?
No, I haven't. I'm
curious what his thoughts on that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like something like southern toads that are so prevalent and just everywhere. I don't think it'd be that big a deal to most people, but I imagine something that is more under the microscope in terms of ecology, like spadefoots, that might be something frowned upon. I don't know. I would like to get his opinion. Hey, look, Caleb Martin joined the group. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
It is a 6 foot.
Oh wow,
6 foot vision. Damn, girl. I saw the support beam with the slider lock on it, and I was like, oh, that's a 4 foot. Yeah, that actually makes sense though. That's good. That's cool, man.
Spadefoots would be fun to keep.
Dude, I'm gonna have them, man. They're just so alien. I love them.
Do you have a lot of them down there?
No. So then that's the thing is, so they inhabit
really common here.
No, they inhabit the sandy, and I say higher elevation. Everyone makes fun of me, but right now I'm at 26 feet above sea level. They're at like 35 to 40 feet above sea level, and people laugh. Yeah, that's nothing, right? 10 feet. What's 10 feet? 10 feet is a completely different ecosystem. Where I live used to be cypress swamps and bogs. Where they live is closer to the coast, closer to the ocean, with like sand dunes and palmetto scrub and like oak hammocks within palmetto heads. So
yeah, they're not uncommon here at all. When I was flipping that tin and stuff the other day, I flipped a palm frond, and there was one that was like brumating because it was all like curled up and sort of dead looking.
Yeah.
And then there's been some nights, while I'll have one hop in here, like I'll have the door
Oh,
open
really?
spring, and one will just come hopping in, checking things out.
That's cool, man.
They're neat. Like they are really alien looking little things, because they have the vertical pupils instead of the horizontal like other toads and stuff. And just, I had one female hop in here one time, dude, and she was huge. It was like the biggest spadefoot I'd ever seen.
Really?
I don't know if there's morphs and sonorans or not.
Hold on, I'm going to pull up a natural list of my Tri-County area to show you how many observations there are of just the eastern spadefoot. Eastern spadefoot. And iNaturalist is kind of annoying because unless you use the scientific name for North American spadefoots, it's almost always going to assume that it's the European spadefoot, and therefore it's going to say no observations found.
Yeah.
So, hold on a second. Scaphiophus holbrooki.
Joe said, "Let's get in there, get out there and find him."
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. And hey, so there's a very small population left in the Tri-County area, and it is very close to where Joe lives. So Joe and I are going to be digging through some sand. So I just typed in Scaphiophus holbrooki, the eastern spadefoot, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's more than that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. There's 18 observations for the Tri-County area. So that's probably 150 or 200 mile stretch. There you go.
Wow.
That's it. And obviously, iNaturalist, this is just, a very small group of herpers and mostly, people jogging and walking their dog and that kind of thing. But you can see there is no blue dots in this whole area. So.
Yeah. It's just cool species, man. Those in the narrowmouths are neat too.
Yeah, dude. I love that.
A lot of narrowmouths here.
Dude, that narrowmouth that Nipper and I found in North Florida, man, dude, he was so excited. We saw actual palmetto bugs, like real palmetto bugs, like not the nonsense cockroaches that people call palmetto bugs. And he streaked like a little girl, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a real palmetto bug! Look at it, it's friggin' purple!" And he's like, "That's disgusting! Get it away from me!" And then I'm holding the palmetto bug, and he like leans in to like look at it, and then he's like, "Well, let me peel this piece of bark," and boom, there is a narrowmouth. Dude, that was like the size of your thumbnail, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. My parents have a pool, and so every spring, like, you just go check the skimmer box, and you can find like 3 different species of, well, more than that if you count frogs and stuff. Like,
yeah,
most of them are alive, but sometimes you get some, like, you'll have a male in amplexus, and the female's been dead for a minute, and he's just hanging on for dear life.
Poor guy. He has no idea. Gotta love those nuptial pads.
Yeah. He's giving it his all, man. I've yet to find a salamander in there, though.
Dude, I've got salamanders within 2 hours of me. And, well, I think there's one species within 2 hours, and I got eastern newts within 2 hours of me. That's something I need to do, because I need to get that for the Florida list.
I want to see marbleds. Like, I love marbleds.
I want to see. Dude, that's it, man. I put the marbled sticker you gave me. I put it on my laptop, so it's right here. Love that sticker, man. That sticker came the Metallica. That came out so good. And Meteoric Joe, you're like, where you live, bro, is literally 20 minutes from where we're gonna find those spadefoots. So we're gonna rock and roll.
He's going to do it.
We're going to do it. And Solid Serpents wants to know if there's any morphs of sonorans. I think there is, but because they're so, I don't want to be insulting and say patternless, but they don't have a very in-depth patterning. It's not that prevalent. if memory serves me right, but I have been wrong before, so I don't know.
Well, past 2 hours.
Yeah,
Is there anything else?
I think we're good, man. Touching all the bases. It's a
Home
good
run.
opener to 2024.
Right. We'll plan a book club here soon.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a lot of books actually that I bought either from Hamilton or other places that I haven't read yet, but I at least have them to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we got to get Billy Hunt, because I know he's got a handful of books that he wants to share. It's just his schedule's been kind of crazy lately, and I know Bill Bradley really showed an interest in it. So I know, let's get him on. We'll do the four of us if we can.
The Dorothy Lapis School for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
Yes, that's got to be a shirt.
It's got to be sure.
It's got to be a shirt. So, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
This episode was brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out. You need a rack, you need a cage, you need both. You're shopping around, just hop on there and look. You have any questions, you send a message, you send an email. Lo and behold, you get a response in a timely manner.
Quick.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Use the code THN at checkout, get 10% off your order. Then hop on over to fullvsapparel.com, get yourself some shirts, hoodies, all that good stuff. And also use the code THN at checkout, 15% off your order, which is the exclusive promo code that is only mentioned here. And that is just for THN viewers and listeners like you. And then hop over to Puget Sound Pythons on their Facebook and Instagram. Hunt them down on Morph Market, see what they've got cooking. They're good people. We love them to death. Pay attention to what they're doing, because they got a ton of stuff, more than just ball pythons. They've got a ton of, I feel like they have way more projects than we're aware of. Like, they've got a lot of stuff sort of in the background that they've been sitting on for a while. They're like,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, those
Grow ups, man. All about the grow ups.
Right. And then cold-blooded caffeine. Grab yourself a bag of this here Snakes and Stogies blend. Good old
Muy delicioso.
Rwandan blend. It's very good. I need to get myself some more. I got one of the pour overs from them, and I took it to Tennessee, and then
nice.
Turns out I took 2 bags of coffee with me to Tennessee and didn't bring any back. And we took the pour over, not knowing if my aunt and uncle had a traditional coffee maker, and thinking maybe they just had a Keurig for some reason. But yeah, got to break in that pour over still. So I need to get more coffee.
Pour over is the way to go, man. It's probably my favorite.
Well, the Chemex that they sell it's really nice.
Nice.
I got one. It's definitely worth checking out. It's got their logo on it, which is neat.
It's cool, man.
And then Trey sent me filters. I'm assuming they come with filters if you buy one. But either way, coldbloodedcaffeine.com. Get yourself something good. You won't regret it. It is premium small batch coffee. We love it. We'll be back. We have Corn Stars on Thursday, the draft episode for the year, which I'm actually really excited about.
Cool, man.
That episode is a lot of fun. We did that for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it. I need to get some pictures and stuff of some of the breeders, so I can sort of be prepared for that. And that'll be live as well. So if you're around Thursday night, I think we're probably going to be going live around 7:30ish. It's usually, we do that on Chris's schedule. So if Chris wants to do it early, we do it early. Usually 7:30 our time is when we kind of kick off. So be on the lookout for that. And we will see everybody later.
Nice. And Venom Exchange Radio, episode 21.
Yes.
Venomous Snakes of Europe. If you're late to the show, go check it out.
It is good.
It is good.
I'm going to finish it tomorrow.
Excellent.
Thank you all.
Bye.